Hi, this is Sally with SallyCares, and just kind of doing some videos here to process some of the thoughts that we've had and that we've talked about before, but things that kind of keep circling back, because we always have those things that circle back because they never go away. And one of the things that I want to make clear when it comes to caregivers and it comes to caregiving for your parents is that you want to do a couple things. One, you want to make sure that you're on the same page with the care provider, whether it's a doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, whatever, and that you do really understand what the needs are that your parents are demonstrating, or one or the other. Because interestingly enough, I've worked with patients, I always want to say clients, but patients, that do and don't really hear what the doctors are telling them as the diagnosis, and don't really hear about the limitations. We've got dogs barking, that's okay, because it's real life. It's real life. So what happens is that doctors will tell you that there are certain things that you have to pay attention to because your parent is demonstrating this, that, or the other problem. And you may think, yeah, but it's not that bad. Or yeah, but I don't think, well, what I want you to do is really look at your parents as a team, because they've probably been a team for a number of years. And frequently, one parent will cover up for the other one. And when they do that, it leaves everybody very confused, because one parent may deny that their husband or their wife is really having the level of problems that the doctor is suggesting that they are. So you're wanting to believe that because you've got a busy life, you've got kids, you've got a job, you've got all the things, and you don't really want to hear that things are going south and that you've really got to get more involved. So one of your parents is going to be the one that says, don't worry about it, we've got it all under control, it's all good. I'm just going to beg you to step aside, take a step back, and look at the big picture. Look at what your eyes are telling you is true. Because there are so many times, and I'll give you one example. A person who's now a client of mine told me that when her mother started with early onset dementia, that she was teaching, she was taking care of one of her siblings' kids, because that particular sister had an addiction issue, so she was taking over the care of her 8-year-old child, and they lived about 45 minutes to an hour away from the parents. Well, they were having a little family get-together. They all came, and she's in the kitchen with her mother. And her mother looks out the window, and of course it's the picnic tables outside and all the families gathered around. And her mother is looking out the window from the kitchen and says, "Where did all those people come from?" And she said, I turned and looked at her and I said, "Mom, you know those people. That's Aunt so-and-so and Uncle so-and-so. And she goes, "But how did they get here? Like what?" So then it was like, oh my gosh, my mom's really that impaired? I just can't believe it. Then she goes and talks to the neighbor, who's at the party too, because it's a neighbor. And the neighbor is like, "Listen, your dad has been covering up for your mother for the last couple of years." And she was mortified. And she said, I just can't even believe this, but then she's thinking back. Yeah, I'm always talking to my dad. I'm not really talking to my mom. My dad's always reassuring us that everything's okay. My dad's always saying it's this, that, and the other. Now, you might say, well, there's a loving couple, right? Absolutely. But here's the problem. Now that daughter, let's go 20 years later, has dementia. She's now my client. It scares her to death to think she's turning into her mother, because she remembers clearly what those situations look like. I have to reassure her constantly that she's not ever going to be like her mother, because I have her seeing all the right people. She has Lewy body disease, but she has seen a psychiatrist and she has seen a neurologist, both very good. And we've combined the treatments, so she's really doing very well. But she knows that she's declining, but she's not declining like her mother did. And what I've said to her is, because your dad was so loving, your mother never got cared for. So please keep that in mind, that hiding things for the good of the family may not be for the good of the patient. Sometimes the care that's needed May not be something the primary care physician treating one of your parents even understands or can do anything about, because that's out of their area. These neurological problems, dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy body disease, supranuclear palsy, all these different Parkinsonism kinds of things are difficult. They're difficult to diagnose and get it right. They're difficult to get the right combination of medications. We'll be talking about each one of those in more detail. And I am going to do some videos specifically for therapists that are involved with these diagnoses, because a lot of times even the therapists aren't real clear on what to do next. So it takes open communication. It takes you paying attention. If it's not adding up and you're getting it in your gut, your spirit's telling you something's really wrong here, and dad's not owning it or mom's not owning it. You don't know how many times patient spouses will say, no, I haven't told my daughter because she's got enough to worry about. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, then nobody really knows what's going on, and your mom's the caregiver and she's just losing it because she's keeping it all inside. She's really struggling with it all, but she doesn't want to be a burden to everybody else. So family dynamics, huge thing, but don't let the opportunity to treat your loved one well just because the communication isn't happening. Make it happen. So the answer to this is, got questions, you got stories, you got whatever you got, put it down in the comments below. If there's something you want to ask me, please do. I'll be more than happy to reach out. Believe you can do more than you think you can. Believe that your involvement may turn everything around. You never know until you do. So, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it together. There's more out there available than you could even imagine. See you next time.